Alright. Welcome back, guys. More Doki Doki Blue Skies Yuri route. December 31st, the last day of the year. As I push myself up, my gaze floats across my room. It looks exactly the same, save for the tea set on my desk. In a strange way, it's like Yuri's presence is here with me. Aww. A strange feeling courses through me as I recall the shy, nervous look on her face as she handed me the gift. A feeling which only grows stronger as I recall the quiet, intimate moment we had with one another after the other girls left. Up until the moment where Sayori ruined it with her awkward and quite convenient forgetting of her gift, quote unquote. It's definitely not an unpleasant feeling, but it does feel confusing. I feel warm inside, but it's still a foreign sensation. What exactly are Yuri and I? Part of me wants to take Yuri out on a date, but, well, I don't know what to do. Taking her out for coffee or tea seems a bit basic. But she likes tea, though. So maybe it's not such a bad idea after all? That should have been a question mark right there at the end of that one. Having finished my morning routine, I find myself sitting at the kitchen table, idly scrolling through my phone. Maybe some fresh air will help me place my thoughts. That's much better. The air is a little biting, but I'm wrapped up, warm, so it feels more like a refreshing coolness. Unfortunately, I left my gloves at home, so my hands are being subjected to the full wrath of the December air. Man, it'd be nice to have Yuri's hands to warm mine. Maybe I should just ask her to be my girlfriend. I mean, despite her being unsure of what we were, it's obvious that she likes me, right? How'd you ask, though? Hi, Yuri. I like you, and I think you like me too, so do you want to be my girlfriend? No, that's dumb. Hey, Yuri, we make a pretty good pair, so I think that... No, that's too dumb. Yeah, Yuri, let's just fuck already. That's it. That's the one to do. Nah, that just sounds childish. Sayori and I used to say that stuff to each other when we were really little. A white bolt coming up into my peripheral vision snaps me out of my inner turmoil.
Hey, Flam. I didn't expect to see you about. Looks like you've gone for a walk.
Oh, hey, Monica. Yeah, I was in the mood for some fresh air, so here I am.
Do you have any plans for New Year's?
Kind of. I used to just watch the fireworks on TV with my parents, but they're not around this year. I guess I could just watch them at home. I chose not to divulge the fact that I'm stuck for date ideas, at least not yet. Monica studies me for a moment. The fuck are you looking at me like that for? Monica studies me for a moment. Her gaze feels like an x-ray, and I feel like she's somehow reading directly into my mind. She is going to kill me with that look, guys. Again, not even 5 minutes in, we're dead.
Say, Flam. Would you say that fireworks can be described as romantic?
Yeah, forget Paris or the Eiffel Tower. Exploding gunpowder and pyrotechnics are what come to mind when someone says romance. Wow, that's like next level sarcasm right there, guys. I'm impressed. I laugh, but her knowing smirk doesn't move.
If I were interested in someone, I think taking them to see the fireworks for New Year's would be the perfect way to start our relationship.
Yeah? Where's this coming from?
Come on, Flam. You can't be this dense. There's a firework display in town. If you head to the Skytree Tower, you'll be guaranteed an amazing view. They start at 10 and finish at midnight.
Uh-oh. A freeze frame. Ah!
You do have to book, but it's only like 430 yen. Nice way to start a new year, if you ask me.
She winks at me. Well, I suppose there's no sense hiding it or trying to play naive. Yuri and I were pretty obvious on Christmas Day.
Trust me when I say you should take her.
You think?
I know, I've seen I know. I've seen how you two have acted together over the past few months, and to be honest, it's about time you got together.
Have we really been that obvious? A smile is my only answer. I sigh. Anyway, what about you? What are you up to today? Don't suppose I'll see you. I'll see you under the fireworks tonight. Maybe with some hotshot tennis player. I nudge her, but to my surprise, she doesn't even smile. It's only when I properly look at her do I see the bags under her eyes. She snorts derisively.
I don't think there's much chance of that happening.
Even her voice sounds a little drained.
I've been busy.
With what? She hesitates for a moment, looking aside for a moment.
Just my parents' business. It's something I can't handle.
Well, just make sure not to push yourself too hard, okay? I know you're our president and all, but everyone needs a break. I feel kind of bad knowing that you're encouraging Yuri and I to spend time together when it looks like you can't even relax yourself. She looks up at me, surprise written over her face.
Thank you, Flam. Your concern is appreciated. I'll try and bear that in mind.
She briefly checks her watch.
Is that the time already? I've got to go, unfortunately. Need to pick some stuff up from the shops for my parents. Catch you later, Flam.
See you, Monica, and thanks for the fireworks suggestion. She smiles and waves, leaving me to ponder her current life situation. I just hope she'll be okay. Oh well. Monica isn't my focus for now, anyway. I dig out my phone and navigate to Yuri. Hey, Yuri.
Good afternoon, Flam. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. My fingers hesitate over the screen. Are you busy tonight?
I think I'm free. Why?
Another bout of hesitation. Come on, Flam. She likes you too. Did you want to check out the fireworks with me tonight? Monica mentioned we can go to the Sky Tree Tower. I can see Yuri typing a message, but the seconds that tick by feel like hours. I know that feeling. An awful lot of resting upon those 3 dots.
I'd love to. What time do they start?
The feeling of relief coursing through me makes my body feel much, much lighter. Why was I even nervous? Monica said they start around 10 p.m., so would you want to come over a bit earlier? We can hang out and then go from my house.
Of course. Is it okay if I come over at 7 p.m.? There are a few errands I need to run.
Sure thing. I'll see you at 7 then.
I look forward to it.
Well, all things considered, that could have gone a lot worse. Although I'm relieved, I can't help but feel apprehensive about how tonight will go. I mean, a date with Yuri? Under the fireworks on New Year's Day? We almost kissed last time, and now there won't be anyone to interrupt us. Oh man, I really hope I don't mess up our first kiss. Maybe I can Google it. I laugh as I slip my phone back into my pocket. Oh, that's painful. He still has the Christmas stuff up. Man, I really need to get rid of these Christmas decorations. I'll do it tomorrow. Besides, I don't think Yuri will mind. Oh, it's been a few hours since I got back from my walk. Since then, I decided to cook some more salmon teriyaki, as I still had a surplus of the ingredients from Christmas Day. I'm still surprised at my own cooking prowess. Days of ready meals and unhealthy snacks seem so long ago. It's safe to say that Yuri has definitely changed my life for the better. I jump slightly at the sound of my doorbell ringing. Wow, is it really 7 o'clock already? Looks like our date is already upon us. Stay calm, Flam. Stay calm. With one last quick deep breath, I swing the door open.
Good evening, Flam.
Yuri, hey. Without thinking, I dart forward and wrap her into a hug. The sudden action catches Yuri off guard. Not much is obvious by how she startles. She eases into the gesture and tentatively slides her arms around me. She smells wonderful and feels so warm.
Not that I'm complaining, but what brought this on?
It's only as we break apart does my brain finally catch up. I don't think I've ever been so forward with Yuri before. Did I really just do that? I don't know. So sorry, I didn't mean to make you feel uncomfortable.
No, it's okay. I thoroughly enjoyed it. You're quite a good hugger, Flam.
You too. That's not the only thing I could be good at, Yuri. Anyway, come on in. She smiles gratefully and steps into the hallway, closing the door softly behind her.
So, we have 3 hours until the fireworks start. What would you like to do in the meantime?
That is a good question. We normally read a book or cook, right? Well, I've already made some teriyaki and I don't think you have any books on you, right? She nods. How about we try a VN? Okay. Visual novel. That's what VN... Visual novel.
VN?
Oh, sorry. A visual novel.
A visual novel?
Yeah. Are you familiar with them?
Yes, I am. Although, I can't say I've tried any myself.
They're essentially text-based stories that you can play as a computer or a video game. Oh.
They're essentially text-based stories that you can play as a computer or video game, correct? With art, such as sprites?
Kind of like you beautiful sprite, you. Uh-huh. I guess they're kind of like us. A halfway point between the traditional methods of storytelling you prefer and the manga that Natsuki likes.
I suppose that's one way of looking at them.
She doesn't look as enthusiastic compared to when we talk about a normal book, which is a shame. You don't look too keen.
Oh? I don't? So sorry, I didn't mean to look bored or anything.
She takes a moment to compose herself.
Let's give it a try, Flam. I believe it will do me well to try a new medium of storytelling. I shouldn't be dismissive just because it's different to what I'm used to. So, what did you have in mind?
I found a really compelling game called Doki Doki Literature Club. It's supposed to be very dark. And it has a twist at the end where one girl stabs herself to death. Would you like to see it? Well, I know how much a good story means to you, so I've got just the VN. Basically, it's about a bunch of students who get locked in a school, and the only way to escape is to kill someone else and not get caught in the class trials that happen after a murder. Trust me, it's full of twists, and I want to see if someone as smart and analytical as you can figure out who the murderers are in the cases. It really raises a lot of questions about what lengths people will go to survive, and the characters are fantastically written.
Ah, a murder mystery. Are there any horror elements by any chance?
Unfortunately not. It can get quite tense, and some of the chapters are fairly creepy though. Trust me, even without horror, I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy it.
Okay then. I'll trust you on that. Let's go.
Nearly 2 hours have passed since I introduced Yuri to the game. Needless to say, it's proven to be a large hit with her. A surprise to be sure, but not an unwelcome one. We've just reached the second trial, and although Yuri was keen to press on to find out who the killer of the chapter was, we have to get a move on.
A true predicament. Do you risk permanently blackening your conscience in the name of freedom? Or can such an act be executed in such circumstances? Obviously, murder is wrong, and outside of self-defense, never tolerated in society. But it's safe to say that in those walls, the regular rules of society don't apply.
Somehow, I knew you'd like it. Anyway, we should probably get going soon.
Oh,
I almost forgot. For the fireworks, we have to book online. Could you search for the tower online? She complies, and within minutes, the appropriate phone number is on the screen. Anyway, I need the bathroom real quick, so I'll be back in a second. A date with Yuri under the fireworks. Why did you not set up the reservation before? At this time of night, they're probably fully booked. So congratulations, you dumbass. Probably gonna miss out on that. This really does sound like a stereotype. To my surprise, however, Yuri's just sitting there, awkwardly twiddling her phone in her hands. Yuri? Did you ring them? I kinda assume you would, given that I went to the bathroom.
no, I haven't.
Well, I know that she struggles with talking to people face to face, but over the phone as well? Thanks for blindsiding me with this.
Has it been 6 to 8 hours?
I'll call for her this time. I'll be the man here, and just be like, I'll take charge here for this one. Please don't screw this up, dude. It's cool. I should have realized you struggled with this sort of thing, so I shouldn't have left this to you. I'll ring them. Don't worry about it.
Are you sure? I really should do it myself.
I'm sure. With my phone in hand, I make the booking. Simple enough. Just needed our names, and I told them we'd pay the money when we get there. Done.
I can't believe I couldn't even do something as simple as that.
Yuri, it's honestly okay. Let's just get going, alright?
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I chuckled to myself. Her New Year's resolution should really be to apologize less. Brr, it's cold out, isn't it? At least the snow's gone, though. A soft warmth slowly makes its way over my cold hands. I quickly notice where the warmth comes from. A very embarrassed and blushing Yuri.
You don't mind, do you? If I figured with our combined heat, we could.
She moves to withdraw her hands, but I hold firm. It's okay. Your hands feel really warm, and I like being able to do this with you. I swallow as a tiny bead of sweat forms on my forehead. Yuri smiles bashfully, but keeps her hands locked around mine.
I've never held hands with someone before.
What about your parents?
Well, obviously, I've held hands with them, but I meant more in this kind of sense.
Of course, that kind of sense. Neither of us know what it is. But to be honest, this feels nice, so why bother questioning it? Same. A quiet, comfortable silence falls between us. How is it that something as simple as basic as holding someone's hand can make you feel so warm and content inside?
This isn't the only new feeling I've had, to be honest. Spending time with you over the past few months has proven to be a novel experience in many ways.
How so?
It might sound rather sad.
I tenderly rub my thumb over the back of Yuri's hand. You can say it, Yuri. There's no judgment here.
The feeling of having a friend. Knowing that there's someone out there who actually cares about me and wants to spend time with me is something I've never really felt before.
Huh? Really? Not even with the other club members?
Oh, I'm friends with the girls, of course. What I was trying to say is that, well, our friendship feels a lot deeper than the bonds I have with those three. I get along with Natsuki, Sayori, and Monica. We can talk about things, but
She looks away.
with you, it feels like you truly want to be my friend. I feel like I can count on you more so than I can count on the others. Not to say that I don't value them or anything.
Nah, I think I know what you're saying. Like, I'm friends with them as well, but I do feel a connection with you that I don't have with the others. Even with Sayori, which is saying something.
You really mean that?
Of course I do. But I find it strange that I find it strange that I'm your first, like, proper friend. I'd have thought someone like you would have plenty of close friendships.
Someone like me?
Yeah, someone so kind, so thoughtful, so intelligent, and so interesting. She smiles sadly.
You're too kind, Flam. I just wish that other people see me the way you do.
Before I have a chance to pursue that somewhat mysterious sentence any further, Yuri nudges me and points towards the building.
This is the tower, yes?
Oh, yeah, it is. Let's head inside to pay before we head up. I'm out of breath. After what felt like a billion flights of steps, we're finally at the top. Yuri is huffing just as much as I am, which makes me chuckle slightly. Looks like we're both as unfit as each other.
Wow. The view from up here is incredible.
As I gaze over the edge, I'm afforded a lovely view of the entire city. The small pinpricks of yellow light contrast beautifully against the darkness of the sky. Yuri walks over to the edge of the balcony. Her face lights up in awe as she takes it in the sights, and honestly, it's hard to tell what's more beautiful. I take my place next to her and instinctively reach for her hands. The shyness in her face is still detectable, but a newfound sense of confidence has largely taken its place. Looking over the city with Yuri's hand in mine makes me feel nostalgic, in a way. Almost like I'm looking over every memory, every moment, and every event in my life. It's rare that I feel this contemplative and reflective, but there's no denying how enjoyable it feels. Getting lost in thought, idly thinking about anything and everything. It's a mental bliss that resonates perfectly with the girl I'm standing with.
Flam?
Her voice is soft and gentle, as if sensing the immersion of the moment and being wary to disrupt it. Mm-hmm.
Do you ever think about all the decisions you made? All the actions you've taken? All the things you've said? All the friendships and bonds you've made?
Sometimes. It's not often, but moments like these make me quite reflective.
I'd like to do the same. All those choices, decisions, and actions, they make us who we are today. Are you happy with the choices you've made?
No. I feel like I've made some mistakes with you along the way, and it's going to lead to a bad ending. I don't want you to die. Right now, definitely. Are you? She looks away for a moment.
I think it's safe to say that everyone has their regrets. Things they could have done differently, which would have produced a better result. Things that they wish they didn't say in an argument. Things they wish they told people while they could. But I think people forget about the things they're happy with. The things they never trade for the world. And
She takes a deep breath.
This moment is definitely one of them.
Did I read that right? But I think people forget about the things they're happy with. The things that they'd never trade for the world. I think there's a error here. I think someone forgot to put a never in here somewhere.
This moment is definitely one of them.
She scoots closer to me. At this point, our hips are touching, and the attractive scent of her perfume wafts its way into my nose. Oh, the temptation to just grab her and kiss her right now. I agree 100%, Yuri. There's things I regret too. The past year hasn't been great, what with the divorce and the loneliness. I turn to face her. But all that is in the past now. Now I'm up here, holding hands with a beautiful girl, ready to celebrate the new year. An intense blush covers Yuri's face, and she looks away for a moment or two. When she looks back at me, there's a coy smile on her face.
I never knew you were this romantic.
We steadily move closer and closer. I can feel her warm breath on my face. Closer, closer, until... Of course. The loud sound of the firework going off makes both of us jump. The familiar feeling of disappointment returns, but only for a moment. The intense colors and fervent display of the first round of fireworks are too good to ignore. Alright guys, thumbnail time. Alright. The once dark sky explodes into life, illuminated by a magnificent display of reds, yellows, greens, and blues, all fighting for dominance in the canvas that is the night sky. As the sounds roar, Yuri slides up to me, resting the back of her head on my neck as she looks up into the dazzling display. Despite the loudness and brightness of the pyrotechnics, they do not all feel overwhelming. In a way, it feels like there are fireworks. Our own celebration of not just the new year, but a personal celebration of the newfound relationship between Yuri and I. With a rainbow of colors dancing across the atmosphere, it's hard to believe that the skies were an empty dark blue just a few moments ago. I can even see the side in front of me reflected on Yuri's violet eyes. Another color I could get lost in. These are breathtaking. Oh.
These are breathtaking. I've seen New Year's fireworks before, but only on television. Never like this. I feel like I'm up there with them.
I knew it was worth the intense cardio to get up here. Which one is your favorite?
Oh, there are so many good choices. I love that little purple one. It's not as big or bold as some of the others, but it's a sight to behold in its own right.
I figured you'd say the purple one. It's a good choice. I'm a sucker for the big ones, though. Oh my god, dude. What the fuck? The way they shoot up. And you know there's going to be a big explosion. No! Get the fuck out of here. Oh, I'm in a gutter on this one, guys. It makes the wait worth it. A smaller firework whizzes by, moving horizontally across the sky. Another whirls by in a frantic spiral, shooting a luminous light as it goes. Another takes the form of a shooting star, leaving a glistening trail in its wake.
Ah, did you see that one, Flam? I love how it's meant to eliminate as a shooting star. I love how it's meant to emulate a shooting star. It must be so fun to design fireworks, knowing that your creations will awe and amaze people.
There's an almost childlike sense of playfulness in her voice, the kind I'd normally associate with Sayori. It's refreshing to see such pure, innocent joy in her. Eventually, the fireworks start to wear off. With one last huge explosion, the yellow lights flicker out, leaving the night sky to remain empty once more. Worth it, eh?
Definitely. Oh, Flam. That was perhaps the best way to start off the year. Thank you for everything.
Now the show's over, we're pretty much back to where we were before we were interrupted. With my heart hammering away, my face inches closer and closer to Yuri's. This time, I know full well there won't be anything to get in the way. I close my eyes as I feel warm, soft lips on my own. The feeling is indescribable. It just feels so right. Her pace is slow and passionate, and I'm able to easily match her rhythm. Yuri hums contently as I hold her lips and pull her closer to me. Her hands are linked around the back of my neck, pulling me into the kiss. I gently rest my hands on her neck and the side of her face. The softness of her skin matches the softness of her lips. After a while, we eventually break apart. With her face this close to mine, I can see every eyelash, and more worryingly, the tears that are forming in her eyes. Yuri? Are you okay?
I'm fine. Sorry, that was just a really intense moment for me.
Hey, it's okay. Take your time. It was pretty overwhelming on my end as well. I'm here for you, and I'm not going anywhere. She clings to me a little harder.
Do you really mean that?
Of course I do.
Even if I were to show you the parts of me that I'm ashamed of, would you still stay with me?
Yuri, that's not even a question. Of course I would. I wouldn't leave you for anything.
Thank you. Thank you.
She wraps her arms around me and rests her head on my chest. I'm a little taken aback, but the opportunity to plant a kiss on the top of her head. I'm curious though, what exactly does she mean by parts of me that I'm ashamed of? Nah. Now isn't the time to ask. So, I guess we're boyfriend and girlfriend now, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I suppose we are.
The new semester is going to be interesting, isn't it?
Yes. It most definitely will be.
With a smile, she gently grasps my hand and leads me down toward the door. I'm still hardly daring to believe my luck. Yuri actually kissed me. I must be the luckiest guy in the world. Alright, need some water real quick. Be right back. Okay. As my eyes slowly flutter open and the last vestiges of sleep leave my body, I run my hands through my hair, thinking about how my life is in its current state. Compared to how last January started, it's definitely a lot different. For one, I actually have a girlfriend now. We kissed, and it's a given that we like each other, so why do I still feel a little uneasy? Is it because I still find it hard to believe Yuri likes a guy like me? A clever, gorgeous, sophisticated girl like that? Or self-doubt really has a way of eating you up from the inside. There's no point in dwelling on it, Flam. She chose you for a reason, okay? Yeah. This year has got off to a good start, so let's keep it that way. A slow smile creeps onto my face as I get out of bed and start my morning routine. It's going to be an interesting year. Well, one thing I could do with that is the bitter cold. It's always freezing around this time of year. At least I'll have Yuri to warm me up. Her love for snuggling up with indoors and a book in hand might just come in very handy. And she's also so warm whenever we hug. Really interesting patch of wall, huh? In an attempt to hastily break out of my trance, I make a mental effort to bring myself to focus on the girl in front of me. It's Emmy. What? Emmy giggles.
Come on, this is the first time in a while that I've been early, so I want to see the look on Sakurai's face.
I grin. Lead the way.
How was your Christmas break anyway?
Pretty good, yeah. She must have picked up on the happiness in my voice as she bounces on the spot excitedly. I can tell where the next question is going to be.
Oh? And why is that?
Well, it's always nice spending Christmas with some friends, you know. There's a mischievous smile on our face that puts me slightly on edge.
Especially when those friends are girls, huh?
And of course, that mischievous smile on her face is followed by a knowing smirk. What are you trying to say, Emmy?
Yuri, Flam.
Wait,
Wait, that's her name, right? The girl with the purple hair?
Yeah, why?
Oh, nothing. I saw you guys together on New Year's Eve, that's all.
Well, there goes my hopes of being subtle.
So, tell me everything.
Thankfully, I'm spared from telling Enemy everything as the classroom door swings open and Sakurai strolls in. After setting down his papers, he turns to address the class. Morning, everyone. Hope you all had a good break.
Flam certainly did.
Shut up, Emmy. I nudge her in the ribs. Oh, and why is that? Come on, Brain, think of something. If you can somehow convince a girl like Yuri to like me, you must be capable. I'm just, well, I did a lot of reading on 20th century history, so I'm, in a great position to hit the ground running this semester. Sakurai doesn't look entirely convinced, but he nods. Oh? Well, I'm sure you'll be able to answer a lot of the questions that are coming up then. He chortles and turns to face the blackboard. I glare at Emmy, only to be met by a childlike grin. The 1920s and 1930s, guys. Believe me, these are some interesting years. And just like that, the lesson's begun. Sometime later, I find myself wandering down to the club room. As I get close to the door, I spot a familiar figure. A nervous smile works its way onto my face.
Good morning, Flam.
Morning, Yuri. It's nice to see you again. She smiles shyly. There's no hiding the red blush that's crept up onto her face.
And you, Flam.
There's an awkward silence for a moment. Of course, it's a given Yuri doesn't really know how to make a compliment. Oh, that's part of what makes her so endearing. Shall we go inside then? Don't know about you, but I'm kind of hungry. She looks relieved at the change of topic.
Yes, I was just about to suggest that. It's rather convenient timing that we were both let out at the same time, don't you think?
That, or both of our teachers happen to be hungry. You're the analytical one, so I'll leave that to you. With a small laugh, she opens the door and leads us through. To my surprise, we're the last ones in. Monika and Saori look deep in conversation about something, while Natsuki has her face firmly hidden behind some manga. The girls look over, well, Monika and Saori do, and give us a brief smile before turning back to their conversation. Should we go over and talk to them? Yuri pauses for a moment as her eyes briefly go over the other club members. She eventually shakes her head.
Well, I wouldn't. It seems like they're all engrossed in their own thing.
Fair enough. Works for me. We both take a seat and pull our food. Unsurprisingly, Yuri's meal looks a lot fancier than mine. I motion towards it. Homemade, I'm guessing?
Yes, you can never go wrong with a vegetable stir-fry paired with rice. The combination of flavors is always satisfying to the taste buds.
Yeah, I remember you saying.
Oh, I don't sound like a broken record, do I?
Huh? No, not at all. I just remembered it because I thought it was really interesting how food meant so much to you. She doesn't look entirely convinced, but she starts eating nonetheless. A brief silence falls between us. Even though she's looking at her food, I get a shrewd suspicion that her focus is elsewhere.
Say, Flam. Have you given much thought to what you want to do after school?
Probably go home and watch anime. Why? We briefly make eye contact. Seeing Yuri narrow her eyes, trying to figure out if I was being sarcastic or serious, is strangely enjoyable, in a silly sort of way. Eventually she realizes I'm joking and smiles as she shakes her head softly.
You know what I mean.
Truthfully, I don't really know. It's not really something I've spent a lot of time thinking about, if I'm being honest. I probably should give it some thought, but yeah, I guess it just isn't high on my priority list. My eyes wander over to Saori and Monika. Saori looks like she's a little sad about something, while Monika is apparently trying to cheer her up. The sight of them talking makes me feel grateful, but also a little guilty. As much as I enjoyed spending time with Yuri, I haven't really seen much of Saori over the past few months. Still, it's good to know that she has other friends, right? Right? It's not like she's jealous and lonely, obsessive.
Given how we're only second years, it's understandable.
I return my gaze to Yuri. Judging by the look on your face, you probably spend a little more time than I have on the matter.
I suppose you could say that.
Let me guess. You want to go to university to study something like Japanese.
Was I really that obvious?
It was just a really fitting pick, that's all.
I suppose it is.
I imagine you're excited to go?
To university? Yes and no, actually. On the one hand, university can be such a stimulating place. The amount of things you can learn while you're there. At high school, you're naturally limited by what your teachers choose to teach. From what I've gathered, you're given much more independence at the undergraduate level. But on the other hand, I've been at school for almost all my life. To make that jump, especially if I were to go to a new part of the country, well, it definitely invokes a lot of anxiety. There's a comfort to be had in routine. I know exactly what to expect, well, for the most part, with school. Humans naturally dislike change, and as exciting as I think higher education will be, it comes at a cost.
Well, when you put it like that, yeah, I can definitely see what you mean. But I think something we all have to go through at some point. Oh, but I think it's something we all have to go through at some point, right? Even if we just go straight into work after leaving school. My eyes wander over to Natsuki. Her position hasn't changed in the slightest. Man, that manga must be pretty damn good. Yuri follows my line of sight. Her eyes land on Natsuki as well. Given the already thoughtful look on her face, it's hard to tell if her thoughts have changed.
Natsuki is only a first year, so I suppose there would be much sense in having this conversation with her.
I don't think my post-school plans even crossed my mind back when we first got into high school.
What about Sayuri? Have you ever spoken about this with her?
Not really. We only began talking to one another a couple of months ago, and I catch myself just in time, mentioning that Sayuri and I hadn't had much time to ourselves because I spent so much time with Yuri would just make Yuri feel bad. Well, I guess there just hasn't been the right time. Besides, she never really struck me as someone who really gave much thought into the future. Kind of like me. Whereas someone like Monica, well, the impression I get from her is that she's probably got a plan. I chuckled to myself, remembering how my parents used to say that my school years would flash by in a blink of an eye. I've had this conversation with Mom and Dad before. It was a while ago, though. I think they wanted me to go to university, so I guess our plans aren't too far off. Guessing you had a similar conversation with your parents, right? Yuri?
Yes, I think so.
The vague, uncertain nature to her answer throws me off guard for a moment, but I'm not given much time to push it as Monica suddenly turns to us.
Hey, you two. Sorry about not saying hi just now. I was a little preoccupied.
It's all good. Everyone seemed to be doing their own thing, so I don't think anyone really noticed. You okay, Sayuri? You looked a little down when we walked in.
Oh, I'm fine. What made you think that?
I don't know. Guess it just looked like Monica was trying to cheer you up about something. Just how I interpreted the situation, that's all.
There's nothing wrong, silly. How was your New Year's Eve?
Oh no, the lag thing, yeah, the frame rate bullshit. I glanced toward Yuri. There's a faint blush on her cheeks. It was really something. The look on Sayori's face goes from quizzical to understanding as she puts two and two together.
Ooh, you two. You're together, aren't you?
I reach out to gently weave Yuri's hand into mine. Yeah, we are.
I knew there was something going on between you two. I'm so happy for you guys.
Sayori's smile is so huge. It's almost bordering on insincere.
Great. That's precisely what this club needs. Lovey-dovey mushy stuff. I'm surprised you'd even notice said mushy stuff with how absorbed into your manga you seem to be. It doesn't block out the sound of people kissing, you know.
That sounds like it came from personal experience. She tips her manga down to glare at me. I grin and raise my free hand up in a comedical display of self-defense. That face, though, that's the face of death.
To be fair, she had a point. PDAs are a major no-no for me.
Don't worry, we'll save all the physical stuff for when you guys aren't around. Yeah. Oh, even I could sense the awkwardness from that line. What? Why are y'all looking at me like that? I didn't say anything awkward. It's not like we could go that far that quickly. Blah, 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 blah.
You never really think before you open your mouth, do you?
What do you mean? The sound of the bell ringing cuts my question short, and soon after, the sound of scraping chairs fills the air as everyone starts packing up. It's only as we're all heading towards the door do I realize why what I just said caused so much awkwardness. Oh no! I didn't mean it, girls! I didn't mean it like that! Come back here! Hey! Guys? But Monica, Natsuki, and Sayori are already gone. Desperately, I turn to Yuri. Yuri! Yeah, I did it, with the thing, I said it, wait, it's not the one, the way that we said it, I don't know, I just got all mixed up, and you know what I really mean, right? I awkwardly rub the back of my head. Yuri?
You know, you're quite endearing when you're flustered.
That's about the closest to a save I'm gonna get for this one, guys. She smiles and heads off. Yuri! Ah! She zinged me! Oh, this game is on! It's nice to have a day to myself for once. Seems like it's been a while since I haven't made plans for the weekend. Funny thing, what joining a single club can do to your social life. That's probably an exaggeration on my part, though. I'm just used to staying in on the weekends. That whenever I do go out, it's a huge deal in my mind. Let's see, what should I do? I'm suddenly overwhelmed by the possibilities. Well, guess I should start by brushing my teeth and getting dressed. A fresh minty taste permeates my mouth. Unfortunately, orange juice is out of the question for now. Might as well make another foray into the world of cooking. What was one of the recipes you already told me about before? Egg rice? Sounded pretty simple back then. Let's see if it actually is. I half-heartedly swill some rice around in a bowl full of water. It's been a while since I cooked rice for myself. I'm just too impatient to wait for it to cook. Let's start. Egg rice is pretty good. The mouth feels kind of slimy, but the taste is there. I don't know if I actually cooked it correctly, but how badly could I have messed up such a simple recipe, huh? I mean, yeah, I can always overcook the rice or undercook the egg. Or maybe not season it right and all that. There's so many possible ways that this could go wrong. I might make it again. The next time I'm too lazy to make something more complex. Which is to say, basically every meal. This has got to be more healthy than instant meals though, right? Right? I wonder if Yuri's eating this right now too. She did say that she eats it for breakfast quite often. It's like that cheesy saying where people are connected by the same moon overhead. But instead of the moon, we're connected by eggy rice. Yuri does wake up way earlier than me though, so she's probably finished eating by now. Speaking of Yuri, I should probably make some headway on one of the countless books she's recommended to me if I want to be able to keep up with her. Let's see. I've only gotten through a few more chapters in the book, but I'm already feeling restless. The plot isn't bad, but the themes seem a bit elusive to me. It interestingly employs a stream of consciousness style of narration too that I'm not used to reading. I wonder if Yuri ever gets bored when reading. It's not like she's some inhuman reading machine, so there must be some writers who she dislikes. Knowing her, she'd be the type of person to soldier on and finish the book anyway, despite her feelings toward it. I don't water. Maybe I should go outside and stretch my legs for a bit, then come back to the book later with fresh eyes. It's that type of winter day outside that's sunny yet still chilly. Then why is there gray? There's gray here, gray here, gray here. Even the buildings look gray. The clear, cold sunshine lights up the uniformly gray sky. Okay, now it's talking about grayness. This kind of sunlight has always reminded me of a bit of the hue of fluorescent lights. It makes the air seem strangely crystalline. Fortunately for me, it's not cold enough to warrant bundling up in a bunch of layers. Just my sweater is enough to keep me comfortable. Some people have crazy cold tolerances. I'll never be able to reach the levels of girls who can wear skirts in freezing weather. Speaking of which, there's a girl in a skirt approaching me. Looks like she's walking her dog. Eh? Is that Shiori? Hey, Shiori.
What's up, Flam?
I didn't know you lived this close to me.
Oh, is that your house over there? I would say I live too close by. It's just that I take really long walks.
Huh? Maybe you should go on a run with Emmy sometime.
As if I'd be able to keep up with her. Anyway, it's just that my dog really likes being outside, so I hit two birds with one stone by getting both me and my dog exercise this way. Isn't that right, Mochi?
Oh no, Mochi! Is this a mini lad tribute? Oh no! It's a white dog. Its name's Mochi. Oh, damn it! This is a mini lad reference, isn't it? That's straight evil. That is both evil and cute at the same time. And oh, dude. Oh. Mochi barks cheerfully in response, wagging his tail furiously. Mochi, that's a cute name. It matches his look, too. He really just a huge ball of white fur.
Yep.
And it's a Samoyed, too. Dude, that's messed up.
Yep, Samoyeds look kind of like gigantic blobs of white mochi, don't they?
I mean, maybe if you squint really hard and have terrible vision.
You just don't know how to appreciate dogs or mochi. So, are you enjoying the sunny day as well? Or are you gonna pop back into your nasty otaku den after this?
Well, I decided to take a walk. Hey, I do not have any nasty otaku den. I wouldn't even call myself an otaku. Just because a guy dabbles in the occasional anime or manga doesn't mean that he's an otaku.
Don't forget the video games.
Oh yeah, wait.
Don't worry, I won't tell any girls about it.
How do you even know what hobbies I'm into?
Look, just because I don't confiscate the manga you read in class doesn't mean I don't notice it. You should be thankful you have such a chilled class rep, hey? Otherwise, next time you swap manga with your buddies, you might find yourself in huge trouble.
Says the girl who widely modifies her uniform. And just so you know, the girls I hang out with don't mind those things. Or at least, God, I hope they don't.
I'm just teasing you, Flam.
Yeah. Do you have cram school or something after this? I assume that's why you're wearing your uniform on a Saturday.
Eh? Nah, it's just a habit from my old school. I used to get this really prestige private school. Oh, I used to go to this really prestige private school that required everyone to wear their uniforms outside. Like, every high school student wears their uniform when they go to academic-related things like cram school. But we had to wear our uniforms when we were just hanging outside the school, too. Something about holding ourselves accountable for our conduct both in and out of school.
Sounds suffocating.
No kidding. The headmaster had a giant stick up his butt.
So, are you overcompensating with your current uniform then? Making up for all those years you couldn't customize your uniform?
Let's just say I'm glad the rules are less strict at our school.
Mochi suddenly barks and tugs at his leash, causing Shiori to stumble a bit.
Okay, Mochi. Looks like he wants to get going now. I'll see you at school, Flam.
See ya. Mochi runs off with a struggling Shiori until it's as if Shiori's the one being walked by her dog. Well, I should probably head back in to finish my book anyhow. It's night by the time I flip over the last page of the novel and snap the cover shut. That's one book down, a billion more to go. Are you proud of me yet, Yuri? I'm about to contemplate rewarding myself by binging an anime series with my cell phone rings. Speak of the devil, it's Yuri. I'm guessing that she's not calling to praise me on my literary accomplishments. Hey Yuri, what's up?
Hello, Flam. Just calling to say hi.
Just calling to say hi?
Oh, yes, I suppose so. Am I interrupting something? I hope I'm not bothering you.
Nah, don't worry, you're all good. I just finished one of the books you recommended me.
Oh, which one?
It was that translated story about the thief who gets released from jail and becomes obsessed with the people who put him in there.
And how did you like it?
I think I liked it overall, but it kind of made me feel a bit depressed too.
How so?
Well, the protagonist definitely isn't totally moral himself. I mean, he's a thief and ends up killing people by the end. But I couldn't help sympathizing with him. He lost everything while in jail, even his family, and just couldn't find his way back into society.
Is it true that he absolutely couldn't help but slip back into his old ways, though?
I guess not. He did have a mentor who gave him shelter and advice. Still, I found myself agreeing with him when he started to become a sort of anarchist revolutionary.
I suppose you
Ugh.
I suppose you compensated with the lack of justice from the protagonist's point of view.
Yeah, I did like how ironic the ending was. The main character spends the whole book calling his enemies traitors and dogs, but in the end gets killed by police dogs. That is incredibly ironic.
I think I would agree with you on the story being a rather melancholic one. It's quite the existential bit of literature. However, I do disagree with the protagonist's actions myself. The way I see it, while the main character's life is unfair in some aspects, he also uses his anger and anarchist ideas to hide his own flawed character. After all, the story employs first-person narration and stream of consciousness, so there's an element of an unreliable narrator there.
That's true. He did try justifying some pretty bad things.
But in the end, death is the greatest equalizer. Just as the protagonist dies, so shall his supported enemies. It really makes you think about the futility of life.
Yeah. I don't really know what I'm supposed to say to that. Man, what a depressing turn this conversation has taken. Do you think that the main character could have changed him? I mean, if he were a real person or something?
Well, it's not as though people are locked into certain personalities and dispositions at birth. I believe that people's experiences can deeply change how they see the world. The main character certainly had the ability to change, but all the events that happened to him caused him to become misanthropic and embittered.
I'd agree with that. This kind of touches on the nature versus nurture debate too, right?
Nature versus nurture, one of the biggest questions regarding the human condition. I'm inclined to focus on how people's environments affects them, rather than on what they're genetically predisposed to do myself. That's one of the reasons why I love reading people's both real and fictional stories so much. You get to see how the characters develop through all the conflicts they endure. It's almost like a parent watching their child grow, but sped up to fit in the few hours it would take you to read the book.
It might only take you a few hours, but it'd probably take me much longer than that.
It doesn't seem to take you long when you become completely absorbed by the story. And what's amazing about literature is that it can even make you sympathize with despicable people by showing you how their mindsets are warped by their experiences.
But how do you know how much of a person's personality can be attributed to nature or nurture? There's no real way you can measure that kind of thing.
Oh, good point.
What if your brain is wired in a way that makes you more likely to enjoy things like literature and tea? You bastard! Motherfucker. Maybe dopamine gets released in your brain in a different way than it does in mine. That's just an example, though. I'm no neuroscientist or...
Perhaps how much is the wrong question. And maybe more accurate to ask something along the lines of how nature and nurture interact. Anyway, I'm glad you enjoyed the novel. I may be sending more recommendations your way soon.
Hold on. I still have a long list of books to go. Thanks for giving me all these recommendations, though. It's really helped ease me back into the literary world. Well, if you count the children's book I read as a kid as part of the literary world.
Of course, Flam. I'm always happy to share my love for literature with others.
I could practically hear the smile in her voice. You know, it's actually the first time today that I picked up my phone to use.
Do you call people often then?
Nah, I mean, I mostly use it to play games or read random posts online. Today's been really quiet for me, though, in a good way. All I did was cook, read, go for a walk. Oh, and talk to you.
That sounds like a lovely day, Flam. Quite similar to mine, actually.
Seems like you're really rubbing off on me. We laughed together a bit at these gentle moments with Yuri. I wish they could last forever.
I hope that's a good thing.
Are you kidding me? Of course it is. My mom would kill for a daughter like you. I realized too late what I just implied. Good one, Flam. Yuri's probably gonna hang up from embarrassment now with how shy she is. I mean, you definitely have better grades than me and stuff.
I'm sure you're simply doubting yourself. Anyway, it's getting a bit late now, so...
Yeah, well, I'll talk to you later.
See you in school, Flam.
See ya. Smooth, Flam. Smooth. Oh, that could have gone better. That could have gone a lot better. Alright, well, that's the end of this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like. Comment down below. And, there's a link in the description to start a playlist if you want to start over from the beginning. Subscribe if you're new. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Take care.